All right, ladies and gents, this is going to be Dealership Life 2.0 Episode 2. Episode 1 did very well. If you look at the analytics screen here, currently it's Monday afternoon. Since the upload, Saturday at 9 a.m., we're a little over 19,000 views, which is great. We picked up 185 subscribers from that video alone. So thank you very much to those who did subscribe from watching that video. And I look forward to you being here as part of the channel and part of the goal to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. If you look at the analytics screen again, you'll even notice in the first 24 hours, I picked up 123 bucks of earnings on that video alone. So everything with episodes looking good, but now we're starting episode 2. We're actually starting off week 2 here, or episode 2, with a deal. Monday mornings, I come in at 11 o'clock, right? It's my late morning. So I get to kind of sit, chill, have a nice slow morning, and then come in and start my week at 11 o'clock. When I came in, Eddie and Dave were both here. They were both busy. Customer comes in, she's looking at a Trailblazer. She has a lease coming due. So we ended up just getting right into the heat of things with a sale. Located a vehicle with the equipment she wants in one of our other locations, and we wrote that deal. So we started today with a deal on a Trailblazer. I think we're picking that car up tomorrow, at which point I'll call her on Wednesday, because Tuesdays I'm off, and we'll set up delivery and we'll get that car on the road. And we ended last week, Friday night, after I had been done filming for the episode you watched last Saturday. I actually sold this Tahoe Premier. The customer came in Friday night around 5 o'clock or so. They have a Tahoe RST that their lease is almost up. It's going to be up in about a month and a half. And they were looking to replace it with something equivalent or better as far as equipment. Now, the Tahoes right now, they're in short supply. Right now, we have 3 in stock. There's a basic LS. LT package we have, and we had this Premier. As far as the RST, I have some inbound. They're all being delayed. They're not going to be shipped probably for the next month and a half to 2 months. They really didn't want to wait. They wanted to do something sooner than later. So I offered them this one. Now, they had 2 requirements that they wanted in the vehicle. One of them was captain's chairs in the second row. So we're good there. The second one was a sunroof. And as you can see, this vehicle does not have a sunroof. But all I really can do is offer what I have, right? So we went over all the new updates for 2025, the exterior differences, the differences between this Premier versus the RST that they're currently driving. So take it for a ride, see what you think. You know, just think, could you take one without a sunroof? Sure enough, they came back, they liked the truck a lot, and they said, you know, we'll take one without a sunroof, let's work the deal. So we did just that. Kind of sat down at my desk, started talking about what their plans were. You know, in the conversation while you're talking to your customer, you sort of pick up on all different things. They had told me where they purchased their last Tahoe, or I should say where they leased it. Once they said who it was, I know the dealer, I know the deals they were doing back in 2022, and I knew they probably paid about $10,000 over MSRP for that car, which I found out later on that they actually did. They felt they severely overpaid for the car, but it was a limited inventory situation. They had no other options. They wanted it. They had the means to do it, so they did it, but they didn't want to do that again. Obviously here, they're not paying over MSRP. We worked a deal on a lease to the structure that they wanted, and they were kind of blown away. They were basically about the same payment they were from the 2022, which they've highly overpaid for. And they're not giving me any money down, whereas on the last one, they put a bunch of money down to get the payment to where they were comfortable. So they're super happy. They'll be here tomorrow to pick this up on Tuesday. I'm actually off on Tuesday, but I'm gonna come and meet them here Tuesday night to take delivery. I already had my guy Dan fill the gas tank. Dan, thank you very much. Next, we're gonna write it on our delivery board here, Tuesday, 6 o'clock. It's the Tahoe with the stock number and the salesperson. Leave the keys with detail on their board. Lastly, I'm gonna go through some of the paperwork that I have to have ready. Now, we create a file when we sell a car, we give it to our business office, and they basically put everything together, you know, as far as contracts and all that sort of stuff. And then what they'll do is they'll give us basically this, a packet of information of items that we'll still need. So like, for instance, on this list, I still have to do the insurance, right? So customer has all the information, they're gonna add the vehicle to their policy, at which point they'll get me a binder and ID cards. We'll need to do an e-signature, which is something we do when they're physically here. We have to do OnStar, which is something we do when they're physically here. I'll have to do a grounding of their current Tahoe. So what we'll fill out is an odometer statement to do the lease return on the vehicle they're dropping off. We'll of course have to get the exact miles. And then the last thing on here that I'll have to do is new law that New Jersey passed probably like 3 or 4 months ago, where we have to offer the service of deleting any personal information off the car that's being left here. So think of things like navigation history, paired phones, garage door openers, things like that, you're gonna wanna do a factory reset on that. Now, when New Jersey passed this law, they told dealers, and it's part of the law, you can charge a reasonable fee to do so. So we did assign a $50 charge to do this. Customer can decline, it's not required. So we have a form we fill out for that as well. If the customer wants us to do it, obviously we do it. Realistically, what I would recommend you do, if you're dropping a lease return offer, you're trading in a vehicle, you can do this yourself to be sure that it's done. For instance, in this 2022 Chevy Traverse RS here, you would go to settings. You're gonna go to, actually in the system settings, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're gonna see return to factory settings. Give that a press, erase settings and personal data, hit erase. It's gonna take out navigation and phone data. The other thing you can do is you can erase your garage door openers if you have them programmed. Now with Chevy vehicles, when you have this 3-button system, you're gonna press the outside 2 buttons for about 10 seconds until that little red light starts to flash. Once it starts to flash, those buttons are now all deleted. Just keep on waiting, there you go. So now that's done. By doing this yourself, you can just guarantee that it's done and all your personal data is out of the vehicle, right? Imagine you trade a vehicle in and you never did anything like this, and there was no law in your state like there currently is in New Jersey for us as a dealership to do it. Basically, somebody might end up buying your car as a used vehicle, then they hit your navigation button, your home destination may be still stored in that nav, now they drive up to your house, they hit buttons, and all of a sudden your garage door opens. You don't want that, so be sure to delete any personal data on any vehicle you sell, trade, drop in as a lease return. It's another cold and blustery day here in Livingston, New Jersey, but we're getting the job done. The Trailblazer we sold earlier in the week is now here on our property. It's this beautiful pearl white Trailblazer RS. Looks phenomenal. It's all gassed up, cleaned up, ready to go. And my client will be here tomorrow to take delivery of that vehicle. In other news, we just sold a Blazer EV over the phone. That was a viewer of the YouTube channel as well. They sell Chevy, so we always appreciate when people watch the videos and then come in and buy a car. They live locally. We're gonna do most of the paperwork before they get here, and then somewhat later today, they're supposed to come in to take physical delivery. It's currently 2:30 in the afternoon, so maybe later on this evening. I have the car on the charger. It's at 30-something%, so we're gonna get that juiced up and filled for them while my finance office does the contracts for the lease and all that sort of stuff. So we're moving along. For cold winter day, we're still selling cars, both gas and EV. It'll be nice when this bad boy is up and running, because this will, wow, almost tripped and fell. This will charge the car a lot faster than that level 2 does over there. And we have the 2 handles here, so we really need to get this thing up and running. This way we can get these things charged a lot quicker, because they're selling very fast. We got a little busy there. We're a little short-handed. We don't have a receptionist right now. Today it's basically been just me and Crazy Eddie on the showroom floor. We sold the Blazer. We did what's called a spot delivery, and that got everything ready. They came in, they took delivery, they drove home.
Corey, please.
And while they were here doing that, I had another appointment come in, and we actually sold this Trax in Marina Blue.
So if this doesn't go through...
Yeah, he has money in house. One of the things we always do when we sell a car in the showroom is obviously get another car ready to put in the showroom. So when I take that Marina Blue Trax out, we'll have this white Trax RS all cleaned up, ready to go first. Back the Corvette out, back the Marina Blue out, put this in, put the Corvette back, and we'll be all ready to go to try to sell this vehicle off the showroom floor. And that's just an example of like the hundreds upon hundreds of different little responsibilities and things that we do throughout the day. You know, we're constantly fielding phone calls for new business, emails for new business. You're also fielding phone calls and emails in, you know, situations with cars you've sold in the past, like previous customers. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I got a phone call from a customer who bought a car 18 months ago. It's got just under 21,000 miles on it. They went to their local Chevrolet store, not a Schumacher store, to get service done. Oil change, like the basics. Come to find out, the dealership says that they need to get tires and brakes. Tires are at 330 seconds, brakes are worn down. It's gonna be $1,700. Now, I can imagine you would feel the same way that I did. Like, well, wait a minute, 18 months, 20,000 miles, there's no way those tires should be worn down that much. You know, what could be wrong with the vehicle and or what is your driving style? But realistically, they're probably not that low. So what I recommended they did was go to a local auto parts store, go to a Mavis, go somewhere and just pop in and ask, listen, can you measure my tires and just see if you think I need new tires, to get a second opinion? Sure enough, they went to a Mavis. Those tires measured out at 630 seconds, which had the customer livid, because now here it is, they went to a dealership. What if they just paid that money? You know, so I get that dealerships have bad reputations. That's disgusting to even hear that a dealership would do that sort of thing. It's an unfortunate, like, good versus evil that humanity has. Some people are willing to do things that they really shouldn't do to profit on their own end. So just always get a second opinion. If something doesn't sound right, get a second opinion. And when you find a dealership you can trust and that you can count on to do the right thing, give them your business. Just keep going to them and stay loyal to them. As long as they're treating you right, that's my best recommendation. Now, in reference to fielding inbound calls and emails for new business, this is actually a very big change that happened in the last couple of years here at our specific location of Schumacher Chevrolet of Livingston. Because in this office, our business development center was a staff, and we had 2 women working in here plus a manager, and they would actually field all the incoming communications. So if a phone call came in, sales department, it ended up in here. If an email came through or a lead from one of our lead providers, it ended up in here. And the job of this department was to set appointments to come in and speak to us as salespeople. So as salespeople, that was a big chunk of work that we didn't have to do. We can spend more time just keeping in touch with our customers and handling new business as it came in, or the appointments that come in that the BDC set up. In recent years, that changed as people left and they weren't replaced. And it got to the point that they said, you know what, we can just have the sales staff handle all those leads as well, which is a good thing because it gives us more opportunity depending on how quick we are in answering the phone. Because when a receptionist gets a sales call, she's going to send it to the sales department. It's going to hit all the phones, at which point the first salesperson to answer gets the call. The internet leads that come in work a little differently. They're on like a round robin, that if you are working that specific day, you will be in a rotation. And as leads come in, they get rotated through the salespeople that are working that day. Now, when we get an internet lead, we do like a 3-prong approach, right? We're going to call the lead if there's a phone number. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a voicemail. We'll also send a text to that number. When we send a text, it has a message that pops up. You can type in stop and you could opt out of text at any moment if you choose to. And then we'll also send an email. In those emails, in those texts, or even in the voicemails, we try to obviously introduce ourselves. We're going to address what the lead was about. So if the client was looking for a 25 Suburban, we're going to address the type of vehicle that they wanted to look at. And we're going to try to set an appointment. The whole goal is to try to have people come in so they can physically see, touch, drive the vehicle. And from a sales point of view, they'll be here where it is easier for us to possibly sell them a vehicle. Inbound phone calls work the same way, right? You take the phone call, you're going to try to get some information from the customer. If you get disconnected, you want to make sure you can call back with their phone number, things like that. And again, the goal is to set the appointment. Earlier today, I took a phone up, got a gentleman on the line who was interested in a Chevy Trax for his daughter. Before he came down, he wanted to kind of establish some different things and see if this was worth his trip to come down based on the lease parameter. Now, again, we go for the appointment, but at the same time, you don't want to tell a customer they have to come in. Like a lot of people today want to shop from home via phone and internet. So we did provide him with information. I got parameters of how he wanted to structure a lease, text that information back to him. And as we communicated after that, it got to a point that now he'll be here sometime around 2:30. It's currently 1:40 to do a test drive. Once he's here, he already has an idea and the numbers of where he wants to be. He's going to definitely negotiate a little bit more. He's trying to get his out of pocket a little further down. And if we can do that, maybe we'll put that deal together. It's a little after 2:30 when my appointment should have been here. Now on the phone, he kind of sounded like he's gonna try to get here at 2:30, 3 o'clock, depends on how his day's going. So we'll see if he shows up. This is the Trax that I've priced up. It's an LT trim. Big difference with the LT as far as the interior goes is you get the full digital dash. So this whole instrument cluster here is digital as well. It's the least expensive version to get that setup. When you're in the LS or the 1RS trim, it has like the old analog style gauges, and it seems like people just seem to like this setup better. So I priced it on this. We have the gray one. We also have, not this white one, but we have a white one somewhere, probably one of these. There it is right there. And then of course we have the 4 other Schumacher stores, so if they want a different color, I can always get it as long as it exists. Hopefully you enjoyed this Saturday morning upload of Dealership Life. We're gonna do more videos too. We're not just doing Saturdays. It's just been pretty busy. It's been very cold out. We got some snow in the forecast coming up possibly on Sunday and then possibly again on Wednesday and Thursday. But we're gonna make some videos in between these Saturday videos as well. One video that will be coming shortly is on this Equinox EV. Another one we're gonna do real soon is on this, the Bright Drop 400, which is a all-electric van that General Motors is now going to sell underneath the Chevrolet nameplate. Fortunate for us, Schumacher Chevrolet of Clifton, our Clifton store, is one of the 7 locations currently in the United States that can offer this product to the population out there that needs some form of cargo van. And we're gonna do a nice detailed video on this. I did check it out the other day. It's pretty sweet. For now, we'll end this video with just a quick visual tour of this vehicle. And again, I thank you very much for being part of the channel and part of my goal to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. Good news, my appointment just showed up.